Okay, good morning, you guys. It is June 1st, and I've just left the gym. I did 30 minutes of the Stairmaster and then 10 minutes of stretching. I've been having sciatica in my back, so I really tried to stretch my back today, just kind of hang and I don't know, do little back stretches or whatever. But I wanted to quickly give you guys an update as to what's been going on, because I haven't been able to talk to you guys in a couple weeks. So I've just been so busy: wedding, birthdays, graduation. So I've just been traveling, visiting family, traveling, and haven't been able to film a video. So last week, I started my new role as a student nurse intern on the labor and delivery triage and high risk unit. My first 2 days, I only worked labor room, and oh my gosh, I am just in love, and this just confirms to me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it makes me feel so happy that I've gotten to this point where I can now be a student nurse intern or SNE on my unit, because this was my goal the whole entire time. And so this just is another step towards my goal of becoming a labor and delivery or women's health and infants health nurse. I'm not completely closed off to the idea of NICU or maybe peds. I'm not sure yet, but let me tell you about my first day as a SNE. So now that I've transitioned into the SNE role, I no longer have to wear gray scrubs. So now I wear the surgical blue scrubs. So when I go in the morning, I wear my normal street clothes and then change into blue surgical scrubs. And then, so my first day after I changed into my scrubs, I sat down for a huddle, which, it just made me feel so just included, because in the unit work role, I didn't have to sit down for a huddle. Back when I was a PCT on CBTU, we used to sit down for huddle because we were we had to do all of the units. So you need to know the code status and who was a cabbage and blah, 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 whatever. So sat down for a huddle, and my first day, I actually got put with one of my friends in the unit, and she was my preceptor, and we had an elective induction. It was the mom's fifth baby, or maybe fourth kid, fifth pregnancy, and with that one, it was just so cool just to see, because she made progress so fast. I'm telling you, within 10 to 15 minutes, the resident had checked her and called her. She was 3 to 4, and then my preceptor checked her, and she was this is as time is progressing, she was ooh, she was I think she's 8. And then the OBGYN came in, the doctor, she came in, and she was oh, she's 10. And so she was okay, on this next contraction, I need you to push. And I was oh my gosh, this is happening so fast. Now, they don't, the births don't normally, don't always happen that fast, but like I said, she was a so she had multiple pregnancies and births before. And I hear it all the time, but it was just so mind-blowing to me to just actually be in the room and see how fast things change. And the mom did end up getting an epidural, and she kind of let me go ahead and break. She kind of I don't know, jerked a little bit, and so the anesthesiologist was thinking that because her epidural really wasn't relieving her as much as what he wanted to, so he was thinking that maybe he was in the intrathecal space. And now I'll have to look up what that is. I told myself I would, but I forgot what that meant. And so he was it could be because you jerked a little bit, or it could just be, we don't absolutely know why your epidural wasn't working and why the epidural went into the intrathecal space. So yeah, I got to see a vaginal delivery like up close and personal. Like I watch vaginal deliveries like on YouTube, or when I had Instagram, I watch them on Instagram. But just being in the room and just cheering her on, like I got to hold a leg and help her push, and just seeing like the baby come out, and you just see like how the vagina expands, and it's like, oh my God. Because like I said, I have had 2 C-sections, so like I never got to like dilate like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so freaking cool. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. And so my preceptor, like she's a new grad, but like I was friends with her before she was an RN, and you know, she was just in there moving like I was just so proud, like just to see her, like she was just in there just moving like a well-oiled machine. And I thought I would be able to like have my notepad and like make notes, but I don't think I can really do that. So what I have been doing is like just like trying to remember the information that they give me in the room, or little things that they say in the room, and then write it back on my notepad when I get back to the nurse's station. Because for this role, I haven't had really any orientation. Well, I haven't had any orientation, just gonna be honest. And it's funny because they're like, well, you've been here, so we kind of just don't know what to do with you. And I'm like, yeah, but I would like some type of orientation. So maybe today I can ask a little bit more questions, because I need to know how to stock. And so I want somebody to show me how to stock and how to set up a table for like a vaginal delivery. I'm not sure if we set up tables for the C-sections, because we do have CSTs, which is the certified surgical techs. Oh my gosh. And they are just phenomenal as well, because I also got to watch a C-section, which I'm going to tell you guys about. So, okay, my first delivery was a vaginal one, elective induction. So I got to see like how, you know, the body dilates and stuff like that. And then my preceptor, she was showing me how to do the newborn assessment, you know, check their breathing, like their nose, the patency of their nose, their reflexes, and, you know, you give them their shots. And I got to do footprint cards. And what else? I don't know. I can't remember. But it was the perfect first day. Like I could not have asked for a better first day. I think I filmed a little bit after work, or either the day after that. I may use that footage. So I had that patient the whole day, because we got her up like around, I think like 4 or 5. And then after that, we just like kind of like, well, we took her up to postpartum, whatever. So the next day was completely different. So when I came in, I was assigned a different preceptor. She's also a new grad, but I think she graduated in maybe, I don't know, spring of last year, I think. So she was kind of like more in her groove. So when I came in, the baby was already delivered, so we were just kind of doing like the postpartum stuff. So I came in, and the nurse, she was like, okay, I want you to get baby's vitals. And do you want to give, or I don't know if she asked me if I wanted to give the meds or not. I can't remember. But she was like, okay, what's the heart rate? What's the respiration? I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like, I mean, I've done it for like an adult, or for like a mannequin or something like that. But like listening to a baby's respirations, I feel like I wasn't hearing it. And so I'm like, okay, I said, I do not feel confident, so you're gonna have to do it, because I'm just like I don't know what I'm hearing. Like I can clearly hear the heartbeat, but the respiration I could not hear. And so like eventually I told this other nurse, and she was like, yeah, she was like, when you're first getting started, she was like, it's kind of hard to know like what you're listening to. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I can hear his heart beating, but I have no idea. So I tried to look up some YouTube videos. So I have those saved to my playlist to watch later, so I can kind of train my ear to listen to the sounds. So yeah, so we did that. And then she was doing the newborn assessment, you know, checking the head and everything, checking the pulse, and then, you know, you check for fingers and toes and stuff, and check for cyanosis. And what else did she show me? I forget. But I think I want to write down like which leg to give the vitamins in, because I know there's specific legs. But like I said, I didn't feel comfortable bringing my notebook into the room. So I'm trying to just hold on to the information and then write it down later. So we had a delivery, and what was also fascinating to see is because this mom, she had pre-E in her like past pregnancies, and so, but she didn't have it this pregnancy, and her blood pressure just kept going up. And so the doctor put her on the cardiac protocol. And so the nurse was showing me, okay, so you grab like these like cards, and they show you like the steps. It's like not an algorithm. Maybe it is an algorithm, but it shows you like, okay, if the if the blood pressure is still up, you give this much med. Check it again, 15 minutes, you give this much med. And then she was also on magnesium as well, because she had a seizure disorder. And, you know, also with the preeclampsia and stuff like that, you want to protect the brain. So that was also interesting to see, because I got to see what it looks like when you don't necessarily, not that it wasn't a perfect birth, but like I got to see like how the medicine works in the body, and like what you do because you just think, oh yeah, the medicine's going to work. It's going to go, like her blood pressure is going to go down. But it wasn't. It kept creeping back up. And so like even after we gave her a med, her nurse was like, oh my gosh, okay, this keeps going back up. So, but eventually we got it back down, and then she did end up going to the high risk floor for like further treatment and stuff like that. So after that, I think I went on my lunch break, and I was FaceTiming my husband. You guys, now this is the fun part. So I was FaceTiming my husband and my kids, and then I get a call on my cell phone from a different nurse, and she was like, we have a 26-weeker coming in, feet in the vagina. I think you want to see this. So I told my husband, I said, okay, I gotta go. You know, we got feet in the vagina, whatever. So we get there, we're waiting because she's supposed to come by ambulance. And so we get there, the mom is like on her side. She like came in a few weeks prior, but she had like an 11-month-old, and then another son that had, or I don't know if it was a son or not, another child that had autism. And she didn't have any family here, and like she didn't feel comfortable leaving her children, because sometimes we have children with special needs, like it can be a lot to take on. And so she ended up leaving, and one of the doctors like, you know, it really sucks when moms can't get the care that they need, because, you know, they have children, or they may have like difficulties with like childcare. And so they're like, so he was like, they put their health second. He's like, she really should have been admitted weeks ago, but you know, this is what we're having to deal with now. So we ended up doing a stat C-section with her, and I got to see a classical C-section where they did it vertically. And this is one thing that I didn't know. I don't know if everybody does this, but because they told her, you know, you won't, if you get pregnant again, you won't be able to have another vaginal birth. And she was like, yeah, that's okay or whatever. And oh my gosh, that mom, she was so calm. Like she was not freaking out or anything. And anyways, okay, yeah, let me get to what I'm trying to say. So when they do a classical C-section, I think I'm saying that right. I thought, because I have seen it sometimes where it's like they sew everything vertically, but with this one that I saw, I think the inner layers and even the uterus, they sewed and cut it vertically, but her like fascia layer, like the skin layer, they did it horizontally, which I'm like, oh, okay, that is so nice, because sometimes they will just, and I'm not faulting them or anything, but they will just like, I've seen some pretty jacked up like C-section scars, and I'm not saying jacked up to be mean or anything, but it's just like, it wasn't like a straight line. And, you know, I wasn't there, so I don't know, you know, maybe it was fast or whatever, but I belonged to a few like C-section groups like in the past. And of course, you know, we shared like our incisions and stuff like that. But yeah, just seeing that little 25-weeker just like fight for his life, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I love the field that I'm in. And then seeing the NICU nurses, they are literally, they call them what, I think the Dove team or something like that, but they are literally like a SWAT. Oh my gosh, watching them work, I'm just like, you guys are the smartest people I've ever known. Like, just seeing the nurses in action, because like I was telling them, I'm just so in awe of you guys. Like, I'm talking about labor nurses and, you know, the doctors and the NICU nurses. But it's like, I see you guys like out at the nurses station, but I never got to really like see them in action. Besides that one time, I got to see a C-section when we were really slow. But just seeing them in action, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys are just like a well-oiled machine. Like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And it just makes me like so excited to become a nurse and to get in there and just do the dang thing, honestly. So yeah, I got to watch that. And then so going back to my C-section mom, the 25-weeker, like I got to see her full recovery. And then I took a bunch of pictures because that's the job that my charge nurse gave me when we were in the operating room. She's like, that is your job, get the pictures. And so I'm like, I'm a mom, and I wanted all the pictures, and I'm like, you know, I also like the medical side of it, and I'm like, I'm gonna take 100 pictures. Whatever she doesn't want, she can just, you know, just delete them or throw them away or whatever. So when our mom finally woke up and I gave her her phone and told her the pictures that I took, when I came back, she was like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. She was like, you took so many pictures. She's like, thank you so much. Like, I got pictures of her. I got pictures of her baby that was fighting, because I wanted her to have an appreciation for what her body went through, and also show the team that was working so hard to save her and her baby's life. So I got them working on him. I got them working on her. So yeah, we did that, recovered her, and then we took her up to the NICU and let her visit her baby. And it was just such a beautiful moment. She got to see him, and she asked a bunch of questions. And I told her, because a few weeks ago I went to this postpartum support international event that was hosted like at my hospital, and they were saying how a lot of people don't know about this resource and the hotline that they have. So I told her to let me put the number in their phone, and if she needed anything to reach that hotline, she could reach it whenever. There's a bunch of other resources on there. And I told her, like, in the middle of the night, you know, or, you know, early in the morning, whatever, you need somebody to talk to. Because like I said, I knew she didn't have family here. And this was her first C-section and her first NICU child. And I know that they have specific, like, support groups. So I said, you text that hotline, you look on there, and you, like, find your group or whatever, women that you can connect with. And then also she could use it for her child that has special needs as well, because I know that they have one on there. But she was just so thankful, and it just made me feel so great that even though, like, I'm not a nurse, just my experience, because she was asking me about my C-sections, and I was transparent with her and everything, and was telling her make sure that she reaches out. And she's going to need that support, because obviously she's not going to be able to take her baby home for several weeks. So it made me feel great that I went to that conference, and it was free. That's one piece of advice that I will give you guys, is if your hospital or like organizations are throwing events in your area and it's free, or maybe it's like a low cost event, because one event was like $25 and they gave you 2 meals, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, that's doable. I know we don't have a lot of money as like nursing students, but go to some of these free events, like stay in your email. If you work at a hospital, state in your email about these events that are going on. And then also we have like an employee engagement team at my hospital. And so let them know, hey, if you guys ever have like an event that's geared towards like women's health, or if you're interested in urology, or if you're interested in like cardiac, or what's some other places like neuro, like tell them, hey, put me on your email list or mailing list because I want to be at those events. And I feel like it is great exposure therapy. If you've taken Psychology 101, you talk about exposure therapy. And I think that going to these events is, like I said, great exposure therapy for you. So you get used to hearing like certain terms or certain things. And if there's a specialty that you don't know that you want to go into, just go to different events. If they're free or low cost, just see. You never know what it is that you may like. I know what it is that I like, so I go to like the more specialty theme events. But yeah, I just feel so great that I was able to talk to her, connect with her. And I even, like, while the nurses were getting her vitals and everything, they asked me to hold the monitor to keep track of the baby's heart rate. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys trust me with this responsibility. Like, it just made me feel so great that they trusted me. And that's why it's so important to be on your P's and Q's at your job. Like, do your job well, so that way your nurses and your team, they can trust you. Not saying to do anything outside of your like license or realm of expertise, but like calling me to tell me, hey, I think you want to see this, get in on this delivery, hold this monitor for us. Like, that just made me feel so great that they thought so highly of me. That's why I'm telling you guys, do your job to the best of your ability. Even if you don't like where you're at, like right now. Like, you guys know, before I was in CBTU, to me, it was just the easiest move because I used to be an admin there. But I did my job to the best of my ability. And I told everybody that, listen, hey, like, I'm interested in labor and delivery and women's health. And a few people, like my director, she tried to give me a job. It ended up not working out. But whatever. What's for me is for me. But yeah, that's all that I have to say on that, because this video is kind of getting long. But I just kind of wanted to update you guys on what's been going on. I am still working on my D444 Adult Health 1 class. I don't know. I'm just reviewing the material right now. I'm actually kind of getting bored with this class. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, or if it's because this class just feels so similar to other classes, which I know my program mentor is like, it's supposed to tie everything together. It's supposed to tie together the nutrition, the the pharmacology, and like health assessment. Everything is supposed to tie together. So it's not just you just giving a med or whatever. It's like you're tying in everything. And so I don't know. I'm just not as interested in this class. And maybe like a part of me is like, well, try and see if you can take the PAs or whatever and the OAs. But like, I've been getting a little bit nervous because I've been seeing in the adult health group, like a few posts in a row of people saying that they have not passed it. So it's making me a little bit scared. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying not to rush it, but it's also like, am I bored with it because I know the information? You know what I mean? So here, well, actually, as of yesterday, I know a lot of people haven't been doing the EAQs, but I feel like maybe the EAQs will help me like kind of break up the monotony of studying and also test my brain a little bit more, because even though the EAQs are not required, I think it's good practice to kind of see how they ask the questions and the rationale that they're looking for. So that's what I've been doing. Well, as of yesterday, is I kind of been going back through and doing the EAQs to proficient to kind of test myself. And I also did some Saunders questions as well. But I just got to break up some of the monotony, because I've been watching like Nexus Nursing and Simple Nursing. And I used Notebook LM to like listen to the notes that I made in the study guides. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I get through all the EAQs, I may do the the PAs. So we'll see. But yeah, that's just a little update as to what's been going on with me. Hope you guys are doing well, studying, feeling motivated, and reading your Bibles, because we cannot let studying be our idol. So make sure you're reading your Bible, spending time with God, and praying and setting your goals and stuff like that. So I need to go ahead and get off of here. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. All right, bye.